Into Matchday 23 we go now in the Premier League with, of course, a real title race on the hands. Liverpool and City still lead the charge, but what's going to happen when Arsenal come to town? We're going to take a look at them and more next. Prediction video today. We look forward to match day number 23 in the Premier League, of course, with Liverpool currently sitting at the top of the table, but that could all at least a little bit change this coming weekend. We'll take a look at it, all of it in a second. A big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, you who you are. And again, if you are new, smash your subscribe. Your one-stop shop for the Premier League continues, of course, here. So let's jump at the deep end, of course, and have a little look where we are with, of course, my picks, and then, of course, we'll take a look at where you guys are with the Super Brew. That's right, we're bringing it bang up to date with all of that, and that's, of course, coming at you in just a second. So these are the games that did take place over the course of the week. Of course, the last game being the Wolves against United game yesterday, but it all kicked off with Arsenal beating Nottingham Forest 2-1. I got myself a spot on the nose on that one. Meanwhile, Luton with a 4-0 demolition job of Brighton. I went with a 1-0 win, so I did think they would win, but just not by that comfortable scoreline. Meanwhile, Fulham and Everton 0-0 in the end. I went with a Fulham victory there. Palace a 3-2 victories over Sheffield United. 2-1 win in my eyes. Villa got tonked by Newcastle United. 3-1 win for them. I went the other way. City with a 3-1 win over Burnley. I went with a 4-0 win. Spurs 3-2 win over Brentford. I went with a 2-0 win. Liverpool 4-1 winners over Chelsea. I went with a 3-1. West Ham and Bournemouth a 1-1 in the end. And then, of course, United 4-3 winners over Wolves. I went with a 2-0 win. So it ain't too shabby. None the same, of course. Those, of course, were my picks. This is, of course, the table right now. Heading into this weekend's action. As you can see, Liverpool are running away with it. 5 points clear. With a game played more, though, over City, who are in second spot. Arsenal are also same points as City. And then Spurs are in fourth. Going down, Sheffield United, Burnley and Luton. We'd love to see it. Luton, though, could actually make a real game of this by dragging either a Forest or maybe even Brentford into the mix here as they close in to safety. We'll take a look at all of it in a second, of course, with the next round of games. But right here, right now, we're looking forward to the Prediction League updates. So let's bring you bang up to date with that then, shall we? Of course, that's coming at you. Again, I have resigned. It's just been too busy for me to keep up with all of that. But this is the state of play for the past week. As you can see, Xander's picked himself up 14 points, as well as Elijah, 1, 2, 3, also 14 points. Alex Weller, 13.5, Bluebird Legend, and Ballman, all chipping in with 13 and on the same. That's, of course, this past week. So if you do see your name in there, make sure you smash the old subscribe, smash the old likey. But the overall leaderboard looks just like this. It's Lewis R with 224.5 points. We have Alex Weller up there, 214. Lem Richmond as well, as those two, Weller and Richmond, moving up the chains there into the top 3. But can they be there this weekend? Of course, after this, we'll see that. And, of course, much more when we come back around. So make sure you subscribe and all that kind of jazz as we do look forward to those next round of games, of course. And they are right here. Links to the old Super Brew should be in the description. But these are the games we are looking forward to. So let's jump in the deep end right here, right now with Everton against Spurs. It's the early kickoff on Saturday, February the 3rd. That's tomorrow. Played each other 63 times since 1983. We've got 10 wins for Everton, 29 wins for Spurs, 24 draws between the two sides. Everton coming into this with a 3-1 win, their biggest over Spurs, 63 goals in those 63 games. That's a goal a game on average. Meanwhile, Spurs 5-0 win, the biggest, 102 goals scored in those 63 games, 1.62 goals a game. They're on 58% form for them right now, just one defeat in the past 5. They are fourth right now, 43 points on the board. Up against the Everton side, of course, they are 18th with 18 points on the board, 42% form for them as well. Just 1 win in 6 at the moment. Hit a bit of a rough patch under Sean Dyche. Last time these two sides played at Goodison Park, it was a 1-1 draw back in April 2023. But the odds right here, right now, for this one, we do have 2-1 is your Everton, 5-4 is your Spurs, the 13-5 is the draw here. I'm going to go with a 2-0 for Spurs here, which of course is going to give Everton a bit of a tough old work here to get themselves back into the better half of the table. Kicking off, though, is Brighton against Crystal Palace. That's right, coming at you over at the American Express Stadium. Now, these two sides have played each other 24 times, 202. We've got 6 wins for Brighton, 8 for Palace, 10 draws, of course. The biggest win for Brighton, 3-0 wins, scoring 25 goals in 24 matches, 1.0 1.04 goals a game. Palace, though, 5-0 win their biggest, 32 goals scored in 24 matches, 1.33 goals a game. They're on 42% form, are Palace at the moment, 2 wins in the last 6. They are 14th with 24 points on the board. Up against the Brighton side, 67% form for them right now, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They are 9th with 32 points on the board as well. Last round, they're over in Brighton. It was a 1-0 win for Brighton back in March 2023. In fact, they're unbeaten against Palace over the last 5. That's just 1 win and 4 draws, of course, between these two sides, as they call this a bit of a derby, don't they? That's right. Brighton 4-3 on for the victory, 14-5. The draw 7-2 is, of course, your Crystal Palace here. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Brighton. I'd love to see Palace win, of course, with my boy Adam Morton in the team now. So let's see if he can get some points on the board. Meanwhile, Burnley against Fulham, coming at you over at Turf Moor. These two sides have played each other 15 times since the year 2000. That's right. 9 for Burnley, 3 for Fulham. 3 draws, of course, the biggest win for Burnley. 3-0 win, scoring 27 goals in those 15 games, 1.80 goals a game. Fulham, though, 3-0 win the biggest, 18 goals scored in 15 matches, 1.20 goals a game. Fulham under Silver, down to 13th right now, 25 points on the board, of course, without a win in 5. Meanwhile, Burnley in 19th right now, 12 points on the board, also without a win in the last 5 matches. Last time around, over at Turf Moor, was a 1-1 draw back in February 2021. Burnley are unbeaten against Fulham over the last 5, picking up 4 wins and 1 draw. But the odds here, we have Burnley 90-10 for the victory, 29-20 is, of course, your Fulham, and 9-4 is the draw. I'm actually backing Burnley, believe it or not, to come away with the W. Of course, going on the 1-0 win for Burnley. That, of course, will give them a bit of a relegation boost there in this one. Meanwhile, the Geordies up against Luton Town, coming at St James's Park. Played each other 2 times in 2018, 1 for Newcastle, 1 for Luton. No draws, of course. The biggest win for Newcastle, 3-1 win, scoring just those 3 goals in those 2 games. That's 1.5 goals a game on average. Luton, 1-0 win, their biggest, 2 goals scored in the 2 games, 1 goal a game on average. They're on 67% form for them right now, unbeaten in the last 5, 3 wins on the spin, 17 for the table with just 19 points on the board. The Geordies, 50% form for them right now, winning 3 and losing 3 over the last 6. They're on 8th with 32 points on the board as well. Last time round, they're over at St James's Park. It was back in January 2018. It was a 3-1 win for the Geordies in the FA Cup. However, the odds right near here right now, we've got 5-2 on is your Newcastle, 4-1 is the draw, 6-1 it is your long shots, is of course Luton Town. I don't think they're going to get this one over the line. I think Newcastle will win this one, 3-1 win. But of course, Luton need to get some more results in the bag. Meanwhile, Sheffield United against Aston Villa coming at you at Bramall Lane. Now, these two sides have played each other 16 times. Since 1993, we've got 5 wins for the Blades, 6 wins for Villa, 5 draws, of course. The biggest win for Sheffield United was a 4-1 win, scoring 22 goals in those 16 matches, 1.38 goals a game. Of course, Villa, 3-0 win the biggest, 22 goals also in those 16 games, 1.38 heading into this one. Aston Villa, though, 50% form for them right now, 1-2 lost to and drawn to over the last 6. However, winless in 3. They are 5th with 43 points on the board. Up against Sheffield United, 25% form for them right now, just 1 win in 6, 20th in the table, and 10 points on the board at the moment. Meanwhile, Sheffield United did beat Villa last time around at Bramall Lane back in March 2021. The odds for this one, we have Sheffield United 17-4 for the victory, 13-8 on is your Aston Villa, and 16-5 is the draw. We are backing Villa here to nick this one, 2-0 win. They need to get a result if they're going to compete for those Champions League / European spots in this campaign. Bournemouth against Nottingham Forest coming at you over at the Dean Court. Played each other 18 times, 7-5, 8 wins for Bournemouth, 4 for Nottingham Forest, 6 draws, of course, the biggest win for Bournemouth, 4-1 win, scoring 25 goals in those 18 matches, 1.39 goals a game. Forest, though, 3-0 win, their biggest, scoring 19 goals in those 18 games, 1.06 goals a game. 50% though form at the moment are Forest, 1-2 lost to and drawn to over the last 6. They are 16th with 20 points on the board. Up against the Bournemouth side, 58% form for them right now, 1-3 drawn 1 lost 2. They are 12th with 26 points on the board at the moment. Meanwhile, last time around over at Bournemouth, it was a 1-1 draw back in January 2023. The bookies odds here, 10-7 on is your Bournemouth, 7-2 is your Forest here, and 16-5 is the draw here. Going to go with a 2-1 win for the Cherries. Of course, they are going to keep up in the top end of the table there. Of course, Forest are struggling at the moment. Meanwhile, it'll be Chelsea, it'll be Wolves, it'll be coming at you at Stamford Bridge. Of course, these two sides have played each other 21 times since 2003. 12 wins for Chelsea, 5 wins for Wolves, 4 draws. So of course, now the biggest win for Chelsea, 6-0 win, scoring 47 goals in those 21 matches, 2.24 goals a game on average. Wolves, though, 2-1 win, the biggest, 16 goals scored in 21 matches, 0.76 goals a game. They're on 67% form, are Wolves at the moment, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They are 11th with 29 points on the board. Up against the Chelsea side, on 58% form for them right now, 2 defeats in the last 6. They are 10th with 31 points on the board as well. Last round, over at Chelsea, it was a 3-0 win for Chelsea back in October 2022, but the odds here, 7-4 on is your Chelsea, 3-1 the draw, 5-1 your long shots. That's, of course, Wolves here. Going to go with a 3-0 win for Chelsea, back to winning ways. Meanwhile, United, that's Manchester United taking on West Ham United over at Old Trafford. Now, these two sides have played each other 65 times since 1993. 39 wins for United. That's Manchester United 11 wins for West Ham United, and 15 draws, of course. The biggest win for Manchester United, 6-0 win, 123 goals, though, scored in 65 matches, 1.89 goals a game. Up against Moyes Boys, 4-0 win, their biggest, 60 goals scored in 65 matches, 0.92 goals a game. West Ham, though, without a win in the last 5, they're on 50% form for them right now, won 1, lost 1, and drawn 4. They are 6th with 36 points on the board, up against the United side, who are 7th with 35 points on the board, 75% form for them right now, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Last time around, though, over in Old Trafford, it was a 3-1 win for Manchester United, who, of course, have won the last 3 on the spin at Old Trafford against West Ham. Heading into this one, the odds here for this one, 13-8 on is your Manchester United, 16-5 is the draw, 4-1 is, of course, your West Ham United. Going to go with the win for the hosts here. Of course, we are 2-0 win for them, and West Ham going away with nothing. Then we have a zinger chicken dinner. It is Arsenal, it is Liverpool, and it's coming at you on Sunday, February the 4th. It's third against first, 73 times they have played each other since 1993. 22 wins for Arsenal, 28 wins for Liverpool, and 23 draws, of course. The biggest win for Arsenal, 4-1 win. They've actually scored 112 goals in the 73 matches, 1.53 goals a game. Liverpool, though, 4-0 win, the biggest, 141 goals scored in 73 matches, 1.93 goals a game. They're on 92% form at Liverpool right now, at least unbeaten in the last 6. Top of the table with 51 points on the board at the moment. Meanwhile, Arsenal, third on the table, 46 points on the board, 42% form for them as well. And, of course, just 2 wins, though, in the last 6 games. Last time around, over at the Emirates, it was a 2-0 win for Liverpool. That was in the FA Cup this year, of course. 2-0 win it was for Liverpool. Last time they played in the league in the Emirates, it was a 3-2 win for Arsenal back in October 2022. But the odds here for this one, we have Arsenal 6-5 for the victory, 21-10 is your Liverpool, 13-5 is, of course, the draw here. Sitting on the fence on this one once again, 2-2, of course, point apiece. And, of course, the only winners in this one will be Manchester City. That's right. They'll take that one to the bank. And, of course, speaking of Man City, they'll be taking on Brentford on Monday, the 5th of Feb at the Brentford Community Stadium. They played each other 4 times since 2021. We've got 2 wins apiece and 0 draws. The biggest win for Brentford was a 1-0 win. They've actually scored 3 goals in those last 4 games, 0.75 goals a game. City, though, 2-0 win, the biggest, scoring 4 goals in those 4 games. That's 1 goal a game on average. They, of course, won the last, haven't lost in the last 11 games, and the last 6 is 100% form, of course, as they come into this one. Second at the table with 46 points on the board. Up against the Brentford side, just 1 win in 6, 15th at the table, 22 points on the board. And, of course, coming into this with 25% form for them at the moment. Last time around, though, over the Community Stadium, it was a 1-0 win for Brentford back in May 2023. Of course, look at the odds right here, right now. We do have Brentford 6-1 for the victory, 5-2 on is your City, 50-4 is the draw here, but City will win this one, 3-0 win to take it to the house. That's, of course, my picks. Of course, don't forget your own picks in for the Super Brew. And, of course, this is what the table will look like. In my eyes, it will just be a 2-point gap at the top of the table with Liverpool running away with it. And, of course, Arsenal down to 3rd. And, of course, looking a little bit out of it at the moment. But that's, of course, my take for it. Of course, we'll see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. But until then, guys, subscribe, smash the old later button and all that jazz. I'll catch you later. The games are coming out fast. So let's get these likey-likies and picks in. But until then, dudes, we're done.